A very warm welcome to the Vedic Sciences channel. Today we have just uploaded our first video, and we would request all of viewers to click the bell icon below to receive future notifications whenever we upload a video. Topic of today's discussion is Rashi Tulya Navamsha, Navamsha Tulya Rashi. These are two very popular techniques presented by C.S. Patel sir. The origin of the technique of these two techniques is basically from Dev Keralam, and C.S. Patel sir was the first one to research and bring these two techniques to the forefront. And as you will find that these two techniques can give you really amazing results. They do give. Now, before getting into the techniques, one thing I would like to emphasize that Navamsha Lagna changes every 10 minutes. So when you're working on these two techniques or the D9 chart, you have to ensure the time of birth is absolutely correct. And you have to cross check, you have to do some birth time rectification, BTR techniques to ensure that. We will be taking some BTR techniques later in subsequent videos. Right? So, Navamsha, what is so special about the Navamsha chart? As you may be aware that Rashi is 30 degrees, and basically we are dividing the Rashi into 9 parts. That's 3 degrees, 20 minutes each. So basically your Navamsha chart is actually your Nakshatra Pada chart. So it basically it shows you at a basically it magnifies. It's definitely going to show you, give you very magnified results, actual results which the planets are going to give you, right? So coming back to the topic of our discussion, Rashi Tulya Navamsh. Rashi Tulya Navamsh is basically, this is also known as Bhav Suchak Navamsh also, right? And it has certain nomenclatures also which we will deal with that. So basically what is Rashi Tulya Navamsh? Basically here the Navamsh Rashi is occupied by the planets are noted, right? And the Lagna of the Navamsh Kundli is also noted. And basically, and then what we do is basically we post the Navamsh Rashis in relation to the D1 chart, and we see in relation to the D1 chart where does the Navamsh Rashis are falling. It will be very clear once we take a practical chart. It is going to be very clear. Now this Rashi Tulya Navamsh has got some very special nomenclatures also. You won't find these nomenclatures anywhere. It's actually mentioned in Dhruva Nadis. For example, in Rashi Tulya Navamsh chart, for example, a planet has gone into Lagna. So we say it's Lagnamsha. So this particular planet has gone into Lagnamsha. Similarly, in Rashi Tulya Navamsha chart, the second house, that is Vittamsha. Whenever a planet goes, we say that it has gone to Vittamsha. Third house is basically Vikramamsh. Fourth house is Shukhamsh. Fifth house is Putramsh. Sixth house is Shashtyamsh or Rogamsh. Seventh house is Daryamsh. Eighth house is Nidhanamsh. Ninth house is Agyamsh. 10th house is Karmansh. 11th house is basically Lavamsh. And 12th house is Vyamsha. Right? So basically we are noticing where the planets, which planets have gone where, basically. See, if benefic planets of D1 have gone generally in Bhagyamsh, Karmamsha, Bhagyamsha, Labhamsha or Shukhamsha, it's considered to be auspicious. It's all good. But if they go into Trik Bhavas like Shashtyamsha, Nidhanamsha, Vyamsha, it is not considered to be very good, not considered to be auspicious. So what is the use of basically Rashi Tulya Navamsh? Rashi Tulya Navamsh can be used in to ascertain how a certain Mahadasha or Antardasha is going to give you what results. When we take a practical chart, it is going to be very clear to you that and you can see that it can give you very amazing snapshot predictions also, right? Now similarly, Navamsh Tulya Rashi here in D1 chart, the Lagna of the D9 chart is taken. right? It's basically rotated. The Lagna of the D9 chart is kept as is rotated to the Lagna of D1 and the positions are noted. Navamsha Tula Rashi is also very important. Basically, it shows the permanent potential of a chart. Uh, Permanent potential, whatever shows in the Navamstulya Rashi. So mostly you can ascertain that this is going to be the mostly the nature of the events in a particular area which is going to happen in the native's life, right? So let us now take a practical chart. Without a practical chart, this concept is not going to get too much clear. Okay, this is the chart of Srimati Indira Gandhi, one of the very famous Prime Ministers of India. As you can see, here we have the D1 and the Navamsha chart, Cancer Ascendant chart. Now what we do, we go to the Navamsha. Now we are using Rashi Tulya Navamsha. Here D1 is Cancer Ascendant, Navamsh Cancer Rashi, we are making it as the first house of the Navamsha, Lagna of the Navamsha. So now we have Cancer Ascendant as the Lagna of the Navamsha, right? Now let us see, now let us examine which planet have gone where. Now as you see, Rahu, which is a functional malefic for Cancer Ascendant, has gone in Lagnamsha. Mars and Sun has gone into Vityamsha. Venus and Mercury has gone into Sukhamsha. Ketu and Saturn, both are separate planets, have gone into Daryamsha. Lagna Lord Moon has gone into Nidhanamsha. Now this is bad. This is quite bad, right? And Jupiter has gone into Lavamsha. Now here Jupiter is the ninth lord, and it is also Vargottam, right? In the D1 chart is also it's occupying Taurus, D9 also it's occupying Taurus, and it is basically the Labhyamsha. So basically, snapshot prediction, you can say that for this native, Jupiter's Mahadasha is going to be good. It is going to be gainful. So if you are observing Jupiter Mahadasha, and as you see in the D1 chart also, that Jupiter has got a relation with Moon also. So let us go to Jupiter's Mahadasha and Moon's Antardasha. Moon's Antardasha, that's around 1966. As you may be aware that Srimati Indira Gandhi became the first Prime Minister, first time she became the Prime Minister in 1966. She won the elections and she became Prime Minister. So it is, the Dasha proved to be very good, right? So let us ascertain, let us see, look further. Now let us examine Rahu's Mahadasha. How Rahu's Mahadasha is going to treat her, right? Now Rahu is a functional malefic for Cancer Lagna, and Rahu also sometimes acts as a marriage broker also. In many charts you will see that Rahu's aspect on the 7th, Rahu transiting to the 7th, arranges kind of marriage. Many charts, I've seen many charts, you also try. So Rahu in many charts is known as a marriage broker also. So here as we see, Rahu's Mahadasha started from 1936. Now Rahu's Mahadasha and Saturn's Antardasha. Now Srimati Indira Gandhi got married in 26 March 1942. So it's basically Rahu's Mahadasha, Saturn's Antardasha and Saturn's Pratyantardasha, right? So you can see the relation over here in Rashi Tulya Navamsh. Rahu is in the Lagna, it's aspecting the 7th house, and it's aspecting Saturn also. Saturn is also in the Rashi Tulya Navamsh chart, the 7th and the 8th lord also. And it is sitting with also Ketu. Ketu is a separative planet also. So we all know that Firoz Gandhi, that Indira Gandhi married Firoz Gandhi, and Firoz Gandhi had a premature death also. So that's besides the point. But here you can see very clearly during Rahu's Mahadasha, Saturn's Antardasha and Saturn's Pratyantardasha, marriage took place. So we are getting an indication of a event, marriage like event, which can take place. Now let us come back to Saturn's Mahadasha. Now Saturn's Mahadasha started from 1970, right? Now in the Rashi Tulya Navamsh chart, Saturn is the 7th and the 8th lord, right? And it's sitting with Ketu. Moon has gone into Nidhanamsh, right? Now we see Saturn's Mahadasha, Rahu's Antardasha and Rahu's Pratyantar Dasha. As you know that 1984 in the month of October, it was a very fateful month, and Srimati Indira Gandhi got assassinated. And you can see Saturn's Mahadasha, Rahu's Antardasha and Rahu's Pratyantar Dasha. And Saturn and Rahu, as you know, are functional malefics for Cancer ascendant, and these two very fateful events happened in the particular Mahadashas and subsequent Antardashas. So you can get a very broad picture basically how the Mahadasha or the Antardasha is going to take place. Now this is the magic of Rashi Tulya Navamsha. Okay, now let us move to Navamsh Tulya Rashi. Now let us go to the D1 chart. In Navamsh Tulya Rashi, as we had discussed before, it shows you the permanent potential of the chart. It's going to give you the permanent potential of the chart. So in this case, as you see D1, now the ascendant of the Navamsha chart is Pisces. So what we do, we make the ascendant of the D1 chart as Pisces and we examine in the chart for the permanent potential of the chart. See here, as you can see, the Lagna Lord is in the 3rd house, right? And the 3rd Lord and the 8th Lord is in the 10th house. Now there is an exchange between the 3rd Lord and the 10th Lord. Now Indira Gandhi's chart has actually 3 exchange yogas, which makes her chart very unique and very powerful. There are 3 exchange yogas in the chart, which is very rare actually. Now here you see there is an exchange between the 3rd house and the 10th house. So what does this indicate? What is the potential of the chart? 3rd house is all about your courage, your power, right? 10th house is all about your career, your position, awards, recognition, right? So prime ministership, that's a post. The public recognition, public post is indicated by the 10th house. So here you can see that this particular native will be using his power to gain position. That these are 2 central themes in her life, if you notice, power and position. So this is, you can get this indication from Navamsha Tulya Rashi chart. You can get a very clear indication. So if we measure it from another perspective, now we see the 5th Lord here. 5th Lord is Moon, is situated in the 11th house, and the 11th Lord is situated in the 5th house. So there is an exchange between the 5th and the 11th Lords. As we all know that the 11th house is a very good house of gains, wish fulfillment, but the 11th Lord is an obstacle, and more so if that is a natural malefic like Saturn. Here we see the 11th Lord is situated in the 5th house. So this is clearly showing that she is going to have issues relating to 5th house, which is her children. As we all know what happened to the children, so it was not a very pleasant ending for them also. So this is how you can easily see a chart and ascertain whether the chart, what is the potential of the chart. So these are the 2 techniques you can use, Navamsh Tulya Rashi and Rashi Tulya Navamsh. This was Navamsh Tulya Rashi and Rashi Tulya Navamsh, and you can ascertain basic. So I hope this you like these 2 techniques, and you will find these 2 techniques useful. And please kindly click the bell icon and subscribe to our channel. So till the next video, I'll see you very soon in our next video. Take care. Bye.